Zidane as well, because a report came out over the weekend basically saying that he would prefer to manage Manchester United over Bayern Munich. And that to me sounds like some bullshit. Because who the hell is looking at Manchester United saying, yes, this is the squad that I want to take over? Especially if you're a manager like Zidane, where your reputation could be at serious risk if you go to Manchester United. Like, you can't tell me that if you're looking at Bayern Munich and United, if you're Zidane, you're seeing Scott McTominay, Bruno Fernandes, Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, Anthony Garnacho, Rashford, Holgen, all these other bums, and you're saying, yo, this is the squad. This is where I want to manage. Absolutely not. Because Zidane, he has basically completed football in all aspects, right? As a player, he is regarded as one of the best midfielders of all time. He then retires, becomes a manager, gets the Real Madrid job, goes on to three-peat the Champions League, wins La Liga, the Spanish Super Cup, the Club World Cup, the Copa del Rey, all these trophies. And then he leaves as a legend, right? Now, he has a very distinct aura about him, right? Everybody believes that Zidane is a fantastic manager. But there are people who bring up, well, what he did at Madrid, yeah, it's impressive because we'll probably never see somebody three-peat the Champions League ever again. But when you're managing a squad that has Ronaldo, Bale, Benzema, Toni Kroos, Luka Modric, Casemiro, Rafael Varane, Sergio Ramos, Marcelo, Danny Carvajal, that's a team full of world-class ballers. It's not so hard to get the job done when that's who you're managing. And I think that's a very fair criticism that people may have of Zidane. So I think with all that he's done at Real Madrid as a manager, I don't think he should be going to any club to manage again. The only job that I would want if I'm him is the France job. But I'm not going to go to Manchester United because their squad needs a major overhaul this summer. And I know that Ineos are there. They have a new ownership group that's going to be running the footballing side of things. But it's just very risky for Zidane to go to United. Because when you don't win any trophies for 1 or 2 seasons, now people are going to be calling you a fraud. Now, how highly you were regarded as a manager is going to start to diminish because you're not going to be able to get it done at Manchester United. So if I'm him, there's no way in hell I'm picking United over Bayern Munich. You go to Bayern right now, I think they're going to have a big summer because they have to respond to not winning the Bundesliga this season. Since I started watching football in 2014, I do not know life without Bayern Munich winning trophies every year and without them dominating the Bundesliga every single year. And what Xabi Alonso and Bayer Leverkusen have done this season has been fantastic. And Bayern will respond. I'm telling you right now, they are winning Bundesliga next year, and they're going to dominate the league. And I don't know who their manager is going to be, but that's my prediction. They're going to spend money, they're going to bring in big-name players, and they're going to cook next season. You're telling me that Zidane would rather manage United over Bayern Munich? Yo, Bayern Munich are arguably top 5, top 3 biggest clubs in the world. And I think right behind Real Madrid, they have the highest standards in world football. He would much rather manage a team that has Harry Kane, Jamal Musiala, Leroy Sané, Serge Gnabry, Joshua Kimmich, Manuel Neuer, possibly Alphonso Davies, and all these other guys. Of course, that is way more attractive than going to Man United, where you're not going to win trophies. You're going to probably get slapped up by City every year. You got to worry about Arsenal because they look like they're on the come up. They're playing better football than what United are. They have a better team. It's just too risky for Zidane, man. Bayern Munich are a much safer option for him. Trophies are basically guaranteed there. I mean, look at Bayern this season. Everybody's saying that this is the worst team that they've had in the last decade. And they are in the Champions League semifinals. So imagine what you can do with them after spending a bit of money. And I'm not saying that Bayern Munich are just the finished article because they have some issues as well. A few of their important players' contracts are running out very soon. So they got to figure that out. But if you bring in a manager like Zidane, those players are going to probably want to stay. And you're going to be able to attract players as well. Not that Bayern need that, because they're going to be able to attract the big name players regardless of who this manager. But having Zidane definitely is going to help. So, yeah, man, I just cannot believe this report. This had to be put out by somebody that's a Man United fan just to make them feel a little bit better. But I think they will sack Ten Hag this summer because the way that he has them playing football is just awful. I mean, did you guys see them against Coventry? Coventry are a mid-table side in the championship. That's the league below the Prem. And they didn't look outclassed going against Manchester United. Like, yeah, they're just awful at the moment. And I think the way that Ten Hag has them playing football, there's no way that I think Ineos are looking at this and saying, yeah, this is the manager that's going to lead us in the future. So I definitely think he will be packing his bags very soon. And it just depends on who they will be able to attract, because I don't really think any manager is going to really want that United job. Any big name manager, possibly. No, let me not even say that, actually. Let me not say that. I just don't think Zidane would look at that project and say, yeah, that's something that I want to take on. Unless Man United are offering him like £1 million a week in wages and full control of the squad. Maybe. But I think if he goes there, he'll be considered a fraud, because I don't think it's going to end that well. That club, unless they agree to sell most of that squad, I just think that the culture at Man United are rotten. You are arguably the biggest club in the world, and you're out here performing like you're one of the smallest teams. It's actually insane. Like, you let Man City, a team that weren't relevant until like 2006, just lap you. You let them just become the most dominant side in Manchester. You let them embarrass you guys every single year. You've sat back and watched your biggest rivals in City and Liverpool dominate the Prem for like the last decade, and you guys didn't do anything about it. And to be fair to the Glazers, they spend a lot of money. Like, United, I think, have spent the most money out of any Prem team in like the last 14, 15 years. But they're just buying duds. They're buying guys who come in and flop. Like 80 million for Anthony. What, 60 or 70 M's for Mason Mount? Holgen for about 70 M's. Onana, Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw. Oh my goodness. Yeah, hell nah. There is no way I'm believing any report saying that Zidane would rather manage Manchester United over Bayern Munich, man. That is such a risk. Bayern are the much safer option. But let me know, if you were Zidane, who would you rather manage? Because if you're a United fan, then of course you'd want to